welcome to the vlog. My name is Paul. I go by the Smrtman. In today's video, I am giving a ownership update. Now, I bought this 2012 Fiat 500 Abarth about 2 years ago, and I only spent $9,000 on this car. About a year and a half ago, I did make a video on this car in the same kind of format like I am right now, and you guys did make fun of me a lot in the comment section. Yeah, so there's a lot of comments about my sweater. So I decided to, change it up and wear a beautiful Christmas sweater for this one. Now, when I did buy the car in January of 2019, the car had around 53 or 54,000 miles on it. There are some additional things we did to it. The big one being the wrap, because it's so green. Underneath this beautiful verde is actually Rosso red. Now, in the 2 years I've owned my Fiat 500, I've put nearly 40,000 miles on this car, and most of those miles were really rough driving. It doesn't have much power, but it has a lot of soul and passion, and that is why I love this Abarth. This video is going to be covering three main topics of everything good about this car over the last 2 years, everything bad about this car in the last 2 years, and then the big one is the third, is should you actually buy one? Now, the first great thing about a Fiat 500 Abarth is the price point. Like I said, you guys, I paid $9,000 for this 2012 car with about 50,000 miles on it. Back then, that was a great price, and they just keep going down in price. But in general, this is a car that mostly anybody can afford if they are looking for a small performance hatch. The number two great thing about this car is it's actually very reliable. This car has never left me stranded on the side of the road. Nothing's broken to the point where I'm scared to drive this car. And the repairs, if they happen, they're actually pretty cheap, because this car has the same engine as a Jeep Renegade, as a Dodge Dart, all which were mass sellers, so there's tons of parts to go around. Now, the third thing I love about the Fiat 500 Abarth is it's unique. Where else can you get a beautiful Italian hot hatch on the market in the United States today? You can't. There's nobody sells Italian hatchbacks in the United States. And yes, I know this car is pretty much just an American car, but it still has that Italian design. So I think that's what makes it unique. And that's why I love this car. That's why I love the Smart car, is because they're so unique. Now, I do want to dive into three things that I really discovered about this car that might drift you away from actually buying a Fiat 500 Abarth. And those things do not outweigh the pros on this list. These things I just have to bring up in case you are actually interested in buying one. So the first thing I want to mention, and this doesn't have anything to do with reliability, but it is quality. The quality materials in this car are definitely subpar compared to other cars on the market today. Some things you'll notice about this car is the leather on the seats. The leather is wearing down. Now, my Smart car is almost 13 years old, and the leather doesn't look nearly as bad as the leather in this car. Also, you'll notice buttons are starting to wear down. There's a lot of squeaks and rattles in this car. The window regulators, for example, broke. My wiring harness for the hatch was frayed. My sunroof is broken. There's so many little things that add up that kind of make me worry about future ownership of this car. Those are some of the quality issues I like to mention about the car. The number two thing I would like to talk about on the negative spectrum for the Fiat 500 Abarth is depreciation. I did mention this in my previous videos as well. Depreciation with these cars is killer. I bought this car for $9,000 and it's now worth $6,000. Now, the good thing for me is I plan on keeping this car for a long time, so I don't really care about depreciation. Now, the third thing I'd like to mention, and this kind of ties in to why these cars depreciate so much, is the stigma of Fiat. Fiat previously left the United States kind of with their head tucked between their legs. They were notorious for having poor quality vehicles with tons of problems. Now, that isn't to say that those cars weren't good cars, they just had problems. I love many of the Fiats from previous generations before they came back to the United States, but just be aware that these Fiats don't have nearly as many problems as the Fiats of yesterday. Like I said previously, I have thrown this car around for 40,000 difficult, strenuous miles on Tail of the Dragon, you know, winter driving, all kinds of crazy stuff. I even took this car off-roading once, and this car hasn't really failed me. Yes, I've had my fair share of small little problems, but overall, this car is a great little fun car. And if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for a fun little hot Italian hatch, there's nowhere else to turn than a Fiat 500 Abarth. Obviously, I recommend the Fiat 500 Abarth. Just be willing to get your hands a little dirty. These cars are not maintenance-free cars, and a lot of people have been spoiled these days with cars that don't require any maintenance, really. You know, these cars will need some tender love and care. You will have to make sure you get your spark plugs changed. You will have to make sure you change your multi-air filters. You will have to make sure that you get your oil changes regularly. Those things have a catastrophic effect in these cars, so be prepared to do your general maintenance. I fell in love with my Abarth the way it was, and I don't want to change anything about it. I feel like this car, how it is perfect for me. Now, I know not everybody's like that, but I do recommend, if you are in the market for an Italian hot hatch, look no further than a Fiat 500 Abarth. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to smash that like button. Give me a sub. I appreciate each and every one of you guys who do subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions or comments about the Fiat 500 Abarth or the Fiat 500 or the brand in general, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I try and get to everybody in the comments. So, as always, you guys stay safe out there, and you guys have a great day. Peace.